with the accuracy, and he's doing it. It sounds to me like he's a great leader.
Do you your thoughts on? I know it's been a little bit because you were in the NFL, but the way college now has the transfer portal, NIL, which has been long overdue, because I mean that's just from the NCAA could have maybe buttoned that up 10 or 15 years ago by bending a little bit. Your thoughts about recruiting? Is that fun at the college level for you, who had been in the game for so long?
Well, actually, recruiting now, the NIL is like the old days recruiting junior college players. We used to recruit them for 4 or 5 months. It was actually fun because it was like a horse race, right? I mean, you didn't spend 2 years recruiting somebody, right?
Right. Yeah.
And so that's what the NIL is now. But I still think, guys, you're not going to develop a team and win big games in your conference by getting players from other teams, a bunch of them. Now, you're going to have to get a few, just like we got junior college players to fill in. That's what they're doing. But the good programs, Matt Rule is not going to go out and get 20 players. I mean, he may get 6 to 8 players a year. I think they had the lowest number that left last year in college football. And if you look at Georgia and Ohio State, and you're going to lose 8 to 10 a year. But you're going to the only way you're going to really develop a program is you got to recruit high school kids and develop them.
Will it be better than now with revenue sharing if you can get guys to like commit to a couple years before they jump in the transfer portal, or have contractual things that would have some sort of nominal penalty so that kids don't maybe float a little bit? I think part of the problem, I love the portal as far as players getting to find a place where they really need to be. But I think the scary part about it is I'm just going to call up until I hit somebody who gives me the number I want. And then you're not really doing anybody any favors.
No. And I know, I'm not going to mention a team. I know a defensive coordinator on a pretty good football team right now. And they took some guys from some big schools, and they're big too, but they took some guys that were supposed to be legit guys and paid them a lot of money, right? And cut them after spring football. They were just a cancer on their football team.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And it paid them a lot of money. And it's happened more than you think. And so you got to be real careful with that, who you take, how they fit in, all those things. And Dabo's taken a lot of heat at Clemson. But, they have a program, and he wants people that fit that. I'm sorry, but
no,
you're good.
But it seems like he's going to have to maybe give in a little bit, right?
Yeah, I think they take a few, but if you look at Georgia right now, how many transfer guys do they have that are actually helping them win?
About 5,
yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah,
that's I think what I think the Clemson fans actually want from Dabo is he's at 0 right now.
Yep.
And they're not saying, like, we want you to take 25 transfers like Dion.
Yep.
We want you to take 5 just for the guys that we lose for whatever reason, that you don't have to play true freshmen against Georgia.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
I want to ask about Georgia. That was y'all's last game at Baylor, was that Georgia Sugar Bowl game. We touched on just kind of the build-up, and it was just, it was what it was. But did you see then, because they got rolling right after that game, like that was like before the national title runs. Yeah. Did you sense kind of what Kirby had building there and looking at them and knowing what was coming?
Well, the first national title game, they won against TCU when they beat the heck out of TCU. Yeah. One of my brothers asked me, Phil, how does that happen? How can they beat TCU like that? I said, listen, if you recruit there 5 years, they're getting 5 to 7 5-stars every year.
Yeah.
And so what happened was Kirby got there. He started winning after about the 4th year, right? So you got 20, 25 5-stars on their team. And 5-stars, it takes 5 seconds to watch them on tape and say, I'm taking that dude, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so those guys, you don't miss on those guys very often. Well, he has a whole team of 5-stars. And so that's a success, right? He's got the Jimmies and the Joes. And now they do a hell of a job coaching, a great system, all that too. But he has really good players. So and that day, remember the O-line didn't play?
Yeah.
And the backup O-line against us at Baylor, they were all 5-stars.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
Every one of them.
Every one of them. They all came in, and I said, well, these are the back. I mean, they look better than anybody we played.
I remember it was like a reality check and this was even this was like right before NIL basically, but it was a reality check of like, yeah, they're not even playing their best of the best at every position, and they're still rolling along like this. Like, that's just like, whoa, Georgia's something serious, and now we've seen the results ever since then. But yeah, that was quite the matchup.
And
yeah.
Saban did it for years, right?
Yeah.
So